Bill Maher's latest comedy special, Adulting, filmed at Miami's Fillmore Theater, written and executive produced and performed obviously by Bill Maher, and directed by Ryan Polito. My brother put me onto this one. Shout out to David, Spun Today alum, and told me it was worth a watch. I personally have been a fan of Bill Maher's for a long time. I think even back to the politically incorrect days, but definitely with Real Time with Bill Maher. I've gotten a couple of his New Rules books, which is a segment on the show. I did fall off from watching his show a bit. Like I used to watch, not religiously, but very often. I fell off a bit, but as of late, I have been like revisiting, watching either like the interview segment, some of the panel discussions. Definitely his like New Rules and his wrap-ups are amongst my favorites. And as of late, he's been on a tear, Bill Maher. And something I appreciate, and I've always appreciated about Bill Maher, is that he's a liberal, as am I, but he's not one of these Democrats that believe that anyone within the Democratic Party can do no wrong, and that it's blasphemous to say so if someone does, and that everyone on the other side is the devil. He doesn't think that way. He criticizes his own party, as his right to do so when warranted, and I know gets a lot of flack and shit for it. He is not afraid to reach to the other side of the aisle. Frequently has conservatives on his panel, opposing viewpoints, goes on other conservative shows, for example, like fairly recently he was on the Ben Shapiro show, which I like as well, although obviously don't believe with a lot of his views. But he's always embodied that spirit of open conversation, dialogue, and not just othering people, saying, oh, you believe that, so forget you, you're not even worth the conversation. And I think we're seeing the logical conclusion of that type of mentality play out in large part in society today with how divided we are, especially politically, and how people's political views have divided friendships and even families. Extremely and unnecessary polarizing. It's okay to have opposite viewpoints on anything, folks. It really is. But yeah, so I always appreciated that about Bill Maher. And the special was good. It was entertaining. It was, if you're a Bill Maher fan, you're gonna get what you expect. I like how over time as well, he's kind of like doubled down on that sentiment, that spirit of being self-critical of his own party, when so many people have gone the opposite route, like that woke route of we can do no wrong, and the other side is so horrible that it doesn't matter what we do. And that's definitely refreshing to see. But he had some funny bits about one in particular is like rating Uber drivers. And he's like, now we're in a society where every single thing has to be planned out, which I'm a planner, guilty. But he highlights like the downfalls of that within using this example of Uber. And he's like, now you're even asked if you want to have a quiet car or have a conversation with the Uber driver. And he's like, I don't know, why don't we just fucking wing it today? You know what I mean? Like, why does every single thing have to be planned? Much to my chagrin. And about rating each other. And he's like, so now I'm in a car with the Uber driver who is going to get a rating from me. I'm going to get a rating from him. I don't want to talk to him. He probably doesn't want to talk to me either. But we're forced to do so and posing as such just to get a good rating from either or. He was like, I don't want to be fucking rating him. I don't want to think of him after I get out the car. And he's like, I don't give a shit if you kill the next passenger that you pick up. It's none of my fucking business. And that's like a theme throughout the special of, just minding your business, which I'm definitely all for. To each his own, right? He pokes at millennials, and I like this line. He goes, I forget the exact build up to it, but he was like, we discovered that the clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings, and it's almost as sensitive as millennials are. Thought that was hilarious. Then he takes another poke at millennials. He was like, millennials complain so much about boomers, saying, you ruined the world. You ruined our, you left us a fucked up world. You ruined it for us. And he's like, the oldest millennials are like 40 years old now. You guys have been through like 5 election cycles. It's your world. Take it. You want it, fucking take it. And he was like, that's the problem with you millennials. You grew up stealing music and now you expect that everything should be free. You want it? You want the fucking world? Take it. He was highlighting also how this social media generation, the online generation, it's very much so faking your life. You know what I mean? He was like, nobody puts negative shit on Instagram really. It's always like the highlights of all the positive and all the good times and all the good stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a good special. It's worth the watch. Again, if you are a Bill Maher fan, you get what you expect, especially if you watch the show and his opening monologues and stuff like that. It's pretty much an extended version of that. He takes digs at religion like he always does. And, hats off to Bill Maher for staying true to who he is, especially, and even so after all these years and, being within the corporate HBO environment, but still being able to maintain his creative control and staying true to who he is. And actually, let me play for you guys the preview of the special.
Look, every generation is the what were you thinking generation. Doctors used to do cigarette ads. A lung surgeon needs steady hands. Have you noticed that Trump, unlike every other president, did not age in office? We did. Not that I would ever get work done, not for any moral reason. It's just, it doesn't work. Now you just look old and weird. We have to find our way back from not loathing each other. Facebook, stop using it to argue with some kid you went to third grade with about Brett Kavanaugh. People didn't used to talk politics all the time, and they had no idea how much they hated each other.
Bill Maher, his new special, #Adulting, is available now, streaming on HBO Max.